Welcome to the session on Infographics, Unit 15 of MJM 022. Now let's understand what is an infographic. Before doing that, let's see how we in general represent data in various formats. One can be data visualization that contain charts and graphs. It the usage of charts and graph although depict the data in a very visual format, but it does not give much of a scope on the creativity part as well as establishing relationships. While infographics are used to represent data in a creative format, in a attractive format, and it also establishes patterns and relationship between the data. The history of infographic is quite rich. One of the earliest usage is seen in 3000 BC in Egyptian hieroglyphics, which were used to tell stories around the rulers of that time, their gods, their prayers, their daily work routine, etc. Then William Playfair in 1786 released a commercial and political atlas, which was a combination of charts and pie charts and various graphs depicting the economy of England. In 1857, Florence Nightingale came up with a Coxcomb chart, which helped her to persuade Queen Victoria to improve the condition of the military hospitals during war at that time. Then Harry Beck came into picture in 1933 and created a map for London Tube. This simplified the lives of traveler at that time. It also inspired government and others to pick visual elements and use them to simplify daily public life. Then came Alt Acer in 1972 with a set of pictograms. These were also used in the Munich Olympics. These inspired the road signs that we are using today. In 1975, Edward Tuffet, along with his colleague John Turkey, came up with a session, a lecture on statistical graphics, and post that, Edward Tuffet released a book on visual display and then later on several other books. And he explained how infographics and visual elements can help boost the expression of data. And then he was also called the father of data visualization. There are several types of infographics. Some of them are informational, timeline, chart or pie chart is the subcategory, how to, process, numbers, resume or comparison. Let's see them in detail in further slides. Let's see the categories in detail. First is the informational infographics. In general, these type of infographics contain a lot of text or a lot of words and there is more emphasis on content. This is one of the example wherein our fundamental rights are explained. The next type of infographic is timeline infographics. As the name suggests, it depicts a chronological order used to showcase an event or an action. It can be used to present ideas evolution, a product's development, or a historical trend. One example can be this how social media evolved from the last couple of years. Another example can be the history of infographic slide that we earlier saw. Moving on to the next category, chart and pie chart infographics. Charts are generally used to do basic comparisons, while pie charts can be used to showcase different component of the same item. This infographic illustrates the usage of both chart and pie chart. The next is how-to infographics. These infographics in general answers to the question how to achieve a certain goal or how to do a certain thing. As the example illustrates, it tells you how to save money in a stepwise manner. Moving on to the next category, the process infographics. It is also known as the flowchart or decision trees. As the name suggests, it illustrates the steps involved in a given process. In the example, we can see the writing process has been explained stepwise. Next is the numbered infographic. Here the emphasis is on numbers and then they are the highlight of the infographics. So in the example you can see and you can actually locate all the most important numbers shown. Next category is the resume infographic, which will help a candidate to get extra score if he or she is looking out for a job change. It also highlights various key points of the potential candidate. As you can see in the example, the strengths are highlighted in a very a nice way and it can catch eyes. Next is the comparison infographics. As the name says, it helps you to understand the similarities and dissimilarities between two items. So here is an example where you can see how the left and the right brain works and how they are same and how they are different. Having seen all the types of infographics, we must keep one thing in mind that in general, everything is not stick to the rule. And when we are creating infographics for a certain thing, let's try to mix and match things so that it looks more creative and can adjust more data. After the types of infographics, let's see what are the most important composition element of infographics. The first is colors. Colors are helpful in highlighting certain information, creating differentiation and contrast, and useful and very consistent usage of color can create a very impactful infographic. On the contrary, if colors are not used wisely, they can destroy the look and feel of the infographic. Next is the font. Fonts should also be used very carefully in the context of the usage of infographic. If you're using an infographic which is very official related to a given brand, then stick to the brand guidelines for the fonts given. If it is a very funky, very playful kind of infographic that you would like to create and the motive is the same, use certain decorative or script kind of fonts. Usually there are four types of fonts: serif, sans serif, script and decorative, and you can choose and use the font according to your goal. Next is icons. They play immensely important role in creation of an infographic because they can replace several words in one picture. So icons are very important. They help you connect the story, and also if you're using icons which are relevant to your infographic, it imparts it a very impactful visual. So next are images. Now images are again a powerful tool to tell a story or replace several words within one image. But in infographics, we have to be very sure while we are creating using images because they should not look like a patchwork or they should not depict a very cliche kind of work. Now let's see how we can create an infographic. The purpose of an infographic is to represent complicated data into a simple visual format. There are three most important aspects of infographic. Visual, that means how it looks; content, that means what the data it contains; and knowledge, that means what meaning it conveys at the end. In 2009, Sneh Roy suggested 5 steps to be followed to create an infographic. First is preparing the blueprint, that means collecting all the data. Then the decision on the color scheme that should be used. Then you should decide the graphics that you will pick, like images and icons, to create that infographic. Next should be the most important step, that the data that you're using should be from the right source and should be authenticated. And the last is by weaving everything together to create the infographic and establishing the right relationship. In 2011, Hopkinson came up with 10 steps to create infographics. First is determining how much time it will take to create that infographic and how much time you have available. Then the direction or the goal of the infographic. Then the budget. How much will you spend or will your sponsor spend to create this infographic? Then organizing the data. then creating the first draft for that infographic, then adding the creative angle to it after you create the first draft. Then seven steps can be the final draft that is ready to send to be supervised by the sponsor. Then making it better with multiple reviews and improvisation. Then the ready of the final product, and last would be the publishing of the infographic. But in my experience, you can take any step, any approach you want. You can follow these steps accordingly, but you must focus on the content, that your data is the king, and it should represent your infographic should represent the data in the simplistic format, should be legible for the readers, and it should be consumable easily. Coming to the guidelines that we can follow in general to create an infographic. So first is data is crucial. Your data is the most important part, must focus on it, and you should determine your creativity according to the data that you are gonna represent. Then the infographic goal is to create to represent complicated information simply. So you must follow that guideline. The third guideline that you should definitely keep into mind is your primary data source should be authenticated and you should know which source you're picking. Then another guideline that you can keep in mind is that your information shouldn't be too much. You should be a bit focused. Your topic should be focused and you should elaborate only one or two topics in your infographic. Last, the photographs, brand names, and symbols that you are using, they should be kept very simple and they should connect the dots. There are many tools available in the market that you can use to create very elaborate infographics. These are some mentions of online tools available like Pictochart, Canva, Venngage, Visually.ly, and I've also mentioned a link where you can go through and check. There are other tools also available, but you can start picking any tool you would like to begin with. These tools have inbuilt templates and icons, and they can help you create wonderful infographics. But I'll try to share my experience here. I used PPT initially to create infographics from scratch because it gives you more flexibility to choose colors, templates, create everything from scratch, and make you more, exposed to this world of infographics. Coming to the end of it, the summary, what we learned in this session. Infographics are powerful tools to depict complicated data into simpler format. Then they have a very rich history and they have been used to save a lot of time and effort and create visual impacts. Creativity and data in an infographic should always be given equal weightage. There are different type of infographic styles. You can pick whatever you want to create according to your goal and mix and match these ideas. Conveying the right meaning at the end of creation of an infographic is the key. And last, you can explore this world of infographic online. You can use tools. You can explore it on your own to see how you can add creativity to infographics. That's all from my side. Thank you for attending this session.